Beattie leads St George out for this all-important match. They have to win this one. They could be gone if they don't. Potter, Williams, Beattie, Mackay, Coyne, Robinson, New. The forwards of Winfield, Smith, Goulet, Priddle, Bailey and Osborne.
Peter Sterling and the Parramatta side know how tough this is going to be to win in front of a very strong St George side. A crowd, I should say. Lydiard, Krenkovic, Jackson, Woods, Mann, Kenny and Sterling, Laurie, Horro, Langford, Gately, Barnes and Goodwin.
The reason that they've finally come home, $2.5 million spent here at Cogra Oval for a brand new grandstand. And the crowd has turned out. We wish the club well. Greg McCallum, the referee who controversially handled the State of Origin on Wednesday night, in charge today. McCallum gets us underway. The Saints looking into the sun at the moment, the ball bouncing away and awkwardly for them. Goulet has it. Swinging arm going in. We were saying, and we'll keep on repeating throughout this match, neither side can afford to lose this one. It might be the end of 1990. On 8 points, these sides. Working your way through the forwards. Fullett and Smith, big tackle from Goodwin. High tackle coming in from Barnes. McCallum's going to act on this one. He was going down in a tackle.
Well, State Bank replay, little to be said about that. It was a low tackle in the sense of being a bad tackle. Barnes was the man responsible. He's the former 5'8" with the Parramatta club. A bit of a change of scene for him to be put in the hooking role.
Also a caution for Gately for an earlier swinging arm.
Yes, that was right from the kickoff. So Parramatta have certainly shown their colours early on.
The shadows creeping from this brand new grandstand across Cogra's Jubilee Oval. Bailey with the restart. Priddle, head down. 19 years of age. New. Win. Throws himself at the line. Cops a bit of treatment round the face from Gately. Goulet. Parramatta moving up very, very quickly in the forwards. Osborne. Good ball away for New. He found the gap for him. Osborne again takes it away. Looks back on the inside for when the ball goes astray. Parramatta have possession. Chance for the Saints now to come back strongly in defence. Krenkovic away from Goulet. Won't beat Mackay, who played strongly for the Blues on Wednesday night.
Yes, he did have a very good game. Played very much within himself. Defended very admirably throughout the game and scored a very good try at the end.
Langford plays it back. Penalty against the Saints inside the 5. He's got Graham Winnan and also Goulet for being offside out wide. Sterling with a quick restart. Long ball flatted out. Jackson under a heavy tackle from Beattie. Laurie had to stop and restart with a pass that floated to him. Sterling, Horro. 40 out from the St George line. Barnes. He got the same treatment back from Bailey. It's on in the middle now. Horro was trying to get a St George player off one of his teammates. Plenty of pushing and shoving. The first penalty was headed against St George. Still a bit of a mess as McCallum tries to split in between some players.
Well, if the referee had followed the rugby league edict of penalising everybody that went in and ran into a brawl, it'd have sent a lot of them off for 5 minutes. It was just one of those altercations that grew and grew like Topsy. We're going to get somebody spoken to here. And let's see it again. There was Barnes being put down patently on the top there by Priddle. And in they all came. So it was, there's 10 minutes in the sin bin for Osborne. And that is not the sort of start that Craig Young, their coach, is looking for. So the team that retaliates frequently gets something done to them.
Gately will get a chance at the first points in this match. New stand certainly has a marvellous view over this ground. Trying to draw first blood from about 33 out. No goal and no solid start for the Eels.
No score, St George and Parramatta. Here's New and Wynn. Got a path away that looked forward to me, but it's been allowed to continue as Coyne puts a little kick through. He was knocked down late. The ball has gone in the touch in goal. Well, let's see what the ruling is. Well, he's going to penalise Parramatta.
There's another Stoush back upfield.
Back on the halfway mark as the players rush in to separate these brawling players back at halfway. A Parramatta player has been given 10 minutes in the sin bin, Glenn Lydiard. It's happening all over the field.
Well, here's the replay, the State Bank replay. Now, he was quite late taken. And the kick went out, but the referee is penalised only a few metres from the Parramatta line. I didn't see the first brawl, the one that broke out on the halfway. My eyes were following the ball's trajectory.
I think we all were. Billy Anderson, it was closer to you.
Yeah, I saw it perfectly, and what happened, McMahon came in to make a tackle on Beattie, and he did hit him with a sort of a ball and all tackle just after he'd unloaded, but Mahon wanted absolutely no part of it. I thought that Beattie was the aggressor in this one.
Now we just await for McCallum's ruling on this one. Billy Anderson thought the penalty should go Parramatta's way.
Well, he's already
penalised. The penalty has already been given for that late tackle, of course. So it's academic.
State Bank replay. And a slightly forward pass by the look of it. Won't labour that point, but certainly Coyne was taken out of it.
So we repeat, the penalty given for the late tackle and not the incident back at halfway. And there's Ricky Walford, sidelined in the middle there. He's sidelined before that State of Origin match on Wednesday.
Well, it's to be hoped he doesn't come back too early because he's got this groin injury and he needs to get it fully 100% right before he does come back.
Now Brad Mackay. Floated around, never looked any good from the moment I left his boot. So we have no score between St George and Parramatta.
He was too quick for us.
Now Parramatta, after withstanding that pressure, Gately gets away, give it away to Mahon. Mahon is 10 metres inside the St George half. Here's Sterling. Cut out Kenny. Laurie has it. Can't get the pass away. Now Kenny from dummy half to Goodwin. Goodwin is stopped just outside the quarter. This is the last tackle for Parramatta. And Sterling is going to bomb. Potter is there for it. Jackson went up for it. Jackson, was he onside? He was onside, and the referee checks with the touch judge. He needs some help for this one. And he calls it a try. Took a long time to award it, but it was Jackson following the kick through who came up with the four-pointer.
And you've got to admire McCallum here because he deliberated a long time, asked his touch judge. Now Jackson appeared to me to come from an onside position, so it was up to whether he could catch the ball cleanly. He did. Potter caught it too, but the referee has judged that Jackson is the man that's got the football down and grounded it in the end goal. Now Jackson's on his left and onside, clearly. No doubt about it. The ball was a magnificently weighted one. Jackson takes it, rolls over, and seemingly with both of them having hold of the football, actually grounds it in the end goal. But magnificent bomb this was because it put Potter right in no man's land there. And you've got to say that that's a fairly good try, that one. That's a good try. And well judged.
Indeed it was. Jackson clearly onside.
I'm talking about McCallum. I mean, he took the odds to it. He's had enough flack this week.
Gately. Conversion attempt from about 11 metres in from touch. Plenty of height. What's the direction like? It's fine. Good kick from Gately. So Parramatta have the lead over St George, 6 points to 0.
Goodwin. Kenny. Beautiful ball for Jackson. He dragged the defence in and gave him a clear passage. Krankovic has got a ton of support here. Maybe he went the wrong way. He had Lydiard unmarked on his right, but there's 6 more to go. Ball was touched in flight. Krankovic straight across the paddock, just a touch backwards. Barnes. Sterling goes across the ruck. 32 out Parramatta. Sterling, the dummy. Inside will be Horrow, controls the football and brought down by Potter. Quite a few holes on the fringe of the ruck against this St George side. Now Goodwin, Jackson, Gately standing out on the wing. He will end up only a couple of metres short. One more tackle for the Eels to the in goal. Lydiard couldn't get his hand to it. He tried to drag it in. It would have been try number 2.
Yes, that'll look good on the replay. Have a look at that, the way the ball just evaded him. He tried to get it in midair and couldn't do it. That was a very, very near thing. Here's Lydiard again. State Bank replay. Knocks it down. Can't regather before it hits the ground. And there's the try gone begging.
He's a long way. St George will need to score in this half. I wouldn't like to go in 6-0 down with Peter Sterling's boot against me in the second.
It might be more than 6-0. Goodwin, Lydiard, knocked down by Beattie. 6 more tackles. They're in all sorts of trouble, the Saints. Sterling takes it to the defence. Back for Gately. Jackson, Marnes outside. Marnes for the corner. Did he get there? Touch judge said he did. It's a try. He checks with the touch judge again. 2 tries. Okay by the touch judges.
Well, I'm very keen to see the head-on shot to see whether his body stays in the field of play. If we can get a replay like that. State Bank replay it is. Good work from Gately. Got it away to Jackson. Jackson timed his pass nicely to Marne. Now watch this very carefully. Oh, geez, yes, I think he did. Sterling, long pass to Gately, behind some supports, well placed out there by Gately onto his centre, and then Marne obviously in for a very, very nifty try, but very, very close to the mark.
Offsider. Offsider to who? Offsider to Jackson in the try. Scott Marne picks up his first for the season.
That's an interesting occupation.
The Saints coming home after playing their first 9 matches away from Cogra, and Beattie is reminding him that the fans are here to see us with a victory. Gately trying to make it worse situation. He won't do that. But a big start for Parramatta. Into the breeze, they lead 10 points to 0.
Strong first half, Goodwin. He's a real goer.
Sterling. Horrow couldn't handle it. Parramatta dive on it as the siren sounds to end the first half.
I think a penalty's been awarded to St George.
He has. He's awarded the penalty to St George right as that siren was sounding. So an opportunity, a belated opportunity for St George to get on the board before the half-time break.
Well, he might as well take a kick at goal.
Been very silent, these St George supporters today. This might give them something to make a bit of noise about.
About 20 metres in from the sideline. Let's see how he goes.
He's got to strike it properly. He's got to hit it sweetly. He does seem to hit it pretty sweetly. And in fact, that's a great kick from Brad Mackay to give St George their first points in this first half. So now the players go to the break with Parramatta leading St George by 10 points to 2.
Mackay holds this one up into that breeze. Sterling calls Marne around. Taken by Priddle. Goodwin. Well, he was always going to lose the football. He couldn't have control of it right until he met the line. New. St George now with an opportunity right at the start of the second 40. Frustrated crowd as well, starting to give them support as Fafita gives them another opportunity as a running forward. Robinson. Beattie. Back for Osborne. Taken by Sterling and Horrow. Robinson goes blindside. Win. Laurie had followed him across. New. Tried a little drop kick towards the try line. Mann was there. He got a quick call from Krankovic to spread it. Woods. Beautifully tackled by Mackay. Krankovic quickly out of dummy half and out of the 22 area. Goodwin. Sterling has himself set one side of the ruck. He normally doesn't leave it till late to kick. They're keen to move it. Lydiard, I'm not quite so sure that that's where Kenny wanted him positioned. They're going to do it on their last tackle on this occasion. There should be pressure on Sterling here. Bailey's trying to get towards him. He won't. Bouncing the wrong way for Potter. Crunch, Langford and Gately. New. Win. Knew that last pass wasn't on. Priddle. They can do with a lot more support for the man who's carrying the football. Osborne. Driven backwards. Win. I'd hate to be taking it up in the St George side, Bill. There's nobody there in support.
Very run out, isn't it? And you can even see on their kick chase. Now follow this one. There's a kick being made. Let's have a look at the kick chase. I think that's pretty ordinary too. There are only one or two players who came down hustling after the ball. They look to me like a flat football team, St George. What they need, Graham, is a long break, some sort of an individual effort to arouse them.
Well, Lanane might be the answer. He was in reserve grade and had a fine match.
Yes, I'm amazed he's not in the first grade side. I think he's a lot more elusive and a lot more on the boil than Robinson.
Gately. Good tackle from Goulet. He and Priddle have tried in the forwards. Barnes making a success of the transition from 5'8" to hooker. Sterling. No way through the big man for Feeder. Lydiard. Way up high for Potter. He lost it. It's going to go dead. Will it? Just back to the 22. Got out of jail, Michael Potter. On his left. Robinson. Win. Mackay. Straightens up beautifully. He's looking out wide for Williams. Williams back up the middle for Beattie. Quickly for Mackay. Tucked by Parramatta. Knock on, says McCallum. At last, something a lot better from the Saints.
Yes, brought on by Mackay, the State of Origin hero for the St George side. Got the pass away out there to Williams. An overhead pass back inside to Beattie. Beattie got it away to Mackay, but behind him, and he really never was in an opportunity to take. He was involved in one of the tries that they scored.
Very slow to get to his feet after he took it up the last time. He's still very groggy. Now here's Kenny trying to weave his way through and got a little pass away for Jackson. Jackson up to the corner line, looks for support, can't get a pass away. This is the last tackle now for Parramatta. Lydiard floats one out for Mann, back for Jackson. Jackson's going to score. That's good stuff from Parramatta. Kenny was in it right up to his bootlaces. Kenny and Mann and Jackson hurt himself when he scored the try.
I would have thought that the scoring of the try would have taken the pain away, but nonetheless, this is the young man in action, beautifully run. Lobbed a pass, attempted to get a pass back on the lob on the inside, but he was always going to be tackled there. Gets to his feet, plays it to Kenny. Kenny then out there to Lydiard. Lydiard back to Jackson, and a very, very good try. Extremely well thought out. A couple of unconventional sorts of passes there. That one came back on the inside to Jackson very, very neatly. And it's a good try. It's the second of two. He's rather labouring at the moment. He seems to have got a clout in the side of the head. This is down with the trainer there at the moment and complaining about the left-hand side, the left ear.
Just outside the 22. goes. Plenty of height, plenty of direction. Great kick from Scott Mann. So Parramatta go for a strength. The strength, it's now 16-2 over St George. He makes his way to the touchline.
Sterling goes blindside. I had my eye on Mackay. He was headed off. Lydiard. Horrow. Goodwin. Taken low by Mackay. 4-2. Parramatta's got the scrums. Lydiard. Unloaded a pass to Laurie, but he had two of them sweating on him. Charged down by Doolan. They've got to get something started very quickly, St George. There's a mile of time left, I know, but they haven't looked like it. Mackay driven back by Laurie. New. Goulet. They switch direction. Osborne unloaded straight into the arms of Mann if he had been watching, but he was looking at the defensive player. Bailey. 3 Eels in on the tackle. New. Shaped and shaped 2 and 3 times. Finally, it just pops up for Osborne.
Well, they've made about 2 metres in the last 7 tackles.
Robinson, he takes over one off. Doesn't really improve the passing game. And then New just says to Parramatta, you guys have a go with it. Sterling. Jackson. Got a feeling changes won't be too long in coming, Bill, around the half and 5/8 for the Saints.
They need someone in their side, Graham, that can threaten the opposition defensive line. At the moment, the inside backs are just passing, and they're not really even backing up after they've passed. They need someone in there that can threaten. And as I'm speaking, Steve Renane's taken his tracksuit off. This is a good move. They've got to get him on to have any chance whatsoever.
Knock on by Krankovic. It'll be interesting to see who Lenane goes on for. Mackay. Beattie. Lenane warming up. Fafita. Some of the balls these St George players are unloading for their teammates. Real horrors. Osborne. Lifted up and dropped by Horrow.
Today's attendance, ladies and gentlemen, is 18,172.
Might have heard the announcement of just over 18,000 here at Cogra. Potter into the back line. Ball was stripped by a Parramatta player. 6 more tackles. Bailey for Robinson. Crashed to the ground by Horrow.
You've got to admire this Parramatta defence. This St George side have been locked in this area here, 10 yards either side of the halfway line for about 18 tackles.
Goulet.
And a criticism of Goulet, he's made no attempt throughout the match to keep his arms free to get a pass away. He hasn't lost the football, but by the same token, he's not threatening the defence at all.
Beattie to his feet. New. Robinson. One of those two will probably be leaving the field. Apparently it's going to be New. The message from Bill Anderson. Fafita, they've still got men left over out wide. They can't get it out there. Another set of 6 tackles as that one was knocked down too. Priddle.
Well, at last they've got beyond the 10 yards.
Most of the handling errors against St George, that is understandable with some of these passes. 32 out. They've had a lion's share of possession in the last few minutes. Osborne wasn't expecting it. It was supposed to go back the other way. A massive bunch around the play of the ball from St George. Priddle. Young man who has taken it straight ahead all day. Last tackle now. Robinson. Shaped a kick. Quick hands. Beattie. Bailey. Priddle's got it. Lost it. On the last, that'll be a handover for Parramatta.
Well, that'll be a relief to Parramatta because they really have been without the ball for about 30-something tackles.
Lenane trying to signal to New to come to the sideline. He's got his attention. This replacement will just about be the key to the whole game to see if Lenane can turn something around for St George.
We'll have to do some defending first of all. Sterling, Horrow. The Eels just outside their own 22, and Horrow lost it.
Horrow looking around for somebody to confirm the fact that the ball was knocked out of his hand, but the decision's been made. The referee judged that he dropped it.
So Lenane gets involved in the play first of all with the scrum feed. He'll get another chance. Does provide some variation because he can chip and chase a bit. Now Potter will play it. Goulet just about on the Parramatta quarter. Bailey straight out of dummy half, losing the football forward. Horrow is back there to pick it up for Parramatta.
But under no pressure at all. There was absolutely nobody coming through after it.
So again, these mistakes that St George are making in the opponent's 22.
Western Suburbs at the Campbelltown Sports Stadium next Sunday.
And they're going to move the football across and somebody else will play it while that injured player gets treated. 55 tackles. St George have had possession in the opponent's half and just 24 by Parramatta. Those mistakes coming from St George in that area. Now Matt Goodwin, about 15 metres away from his own line. Sterling, Kenny went without it. Sterling it was who hung on to it. Now it's back for Barnes. 16-2, Parramatta leads St George. This is the last tackle in this set. Lydiard with a kick and chase, picked up by Robinson though for St George. Lydiard following his own kick through, able to grab him right on the halfway mark and lifting his leg in the play. The ball brings the penalty.
Yes, State Bank replay. Watch as Robinson gets to his feet to play the ball, and Lenane strikes for it before the ball hits the ground.
Now the St George crowd starting to get behind their side. They can sense something might be on. They've got to give some support. Osborne inside the quarter. Now it's a cross for Lenane and then for Fitter. Wood seems to be in some sort of trouble for Parramatta. They're signalling towards the touchline about him. He's really limping at the moment. But the Saints have possession right on the Parramatta quarter. Robinson. Across for Mackay. Now it's with Beattie. Potter a dummy half for Lenane and then for Goulet. Looks for support. Got a pass away for Bailey. They've used up 5 tackles now, the Saints. Osborne. Osborne's going to put the foot to the football, but it's far too big.
It was touched.
Now, more changes happening, Bill?
Yes, young Woods has have to come from the field, and Bill Greentree's taken his place. He's wearing number 43.
Now the restart underneath the post. Potter brings it back. Triddle. And here's Mackay. Mackay's gone straight through. Mackay looks for support. Got a pass back to Goulet. That's a try. St George finally get one there.
Yes, Mackay continuing his good form from the State of Origin. Just made a solo run here, cut back diagonally on the inside, penetrated the defence, got to the fullback, was held by Lydiard there, got out of that tackle, got to Krankovic, came in and got the pass away to Goulet, and Goulet scores. Now this was sheer determination. You can see the look on the young fella's face. He's had enough mucking about. He just wanted to let's go and get some points on the board. Let's do something, for heaven's sake, he said. I'm not so sure the last pass was completely kosher, but nonetheless the try's been allowed and Goulet scored it.
His first try in rugby league. Brad Mackay with the conversion attempt off the side of the boot. It's an awful kick. So the score remains at Parramatta 16 and St George 6.
Another change for the Eels, Bill.
Sure is. Ian Gately's off the field. Greg Drake in 47. Good footballer, young Greg Drake. I think Cronin's realised the fact they're starting to open up somewhat in the forwards, Graham. He's just trying to tidy that up.
They've had a lot of possession, St George, though, Bill.
Yeah, they have, and they haven't really made tremendous use of it. I've just got a feeling, Graham, that they're coming home much better than they started this game. Whether you can put that down to Steve Linnane or not, I don't know, but my mind harks back to that Channel 10 Challenge Cup game early in the year. They were behind something like 14, and they got back in the last 10 minutes to win it. Now, I don't know whether they can do that today, but maybe it's something that may need to be reminded of.
Well, they've given themselves and their fans some hope at last. Parramatta are certainly looking for some possession or a decent share of it. Mackay just got that kick in. There was nobody behind him if it had been charged down. Lydiard. The feeder over the top. Grankovic. Beattie wraps him up. Greentree. Langford. Drake all set to get his first touch. Gets them over halfway. In possession, this is somewhere where they haven't been for a long time in this half. Greentree taken head on by Fafita. One more tackle for Sterling and his Eels. Sterling kicks it away from Potter. Rolling out towards Doolan. Potter's there first. And Kenny takes him easily. Doolan up quickly. 12 away from their own line, St George. The try scorer, Goulet. Well, he looked to unload. Nobody got there with him. Now a chance for Parramatta. Sterling, Barnes, Jackson will get a hat-trick. As simple as that. You make a mistake inside of 22. Somebody like Sterling, who reads it so quickly, will put a try on out wide.
Yes, magnificent reactions from Sterling here, but we go right back to the start. Goulet is the player in possession. He tries desperately to get through and get his arms free, can't do it. It's picked up by Crankovic. Crankovic gives it to Sterling. At this point, it was a laydown was there, certainly that they'd score. He timed his pass beautifully out there to number 9, to Barnes, and then on to Jackson. So that's the way it went. Now here's Goulet, the misfortune of losing the football there under the pressure of the Horro tackle, picked up by Crankovic. Crankovic offloaded it to Sterling. Sterling seizes the situation, immediately seizes a try on. The pass goes out there to Jackson, and Jackson's in for a very, very smart try. That's his third for the day. He's been a very, very exciting player. He's very quick over the ground and doesn't take a lot of time to get going into top gear. Good performance.
Scott Marn, 1 from 1.
There's no doubt about the St George fans. Many of them have given up on their team already. There's a general exodus taking place right now.
Still about 17 minutes of play remaining. From a similar position of his last goal. Just wide. Parramatta, though, lead by 20 points to 6. One of the few times the Eels have been down here. Kenny, ducking, weaving, couldn't pop it up for Crankovic, who was through. Last tackle. Might be a Sterling bomb again, or a field goal even. Tries the field goal, won't have the legs or the accuracy. But Doolan won't get out of there. Parramatta with more possession through the line dropout now. Couple more Parramatta changes, Bill.
Munro in 26, Kadanak in 21, and they're replacing Laurie and Goodwin. They've done a good job for their coach today.
So that's the full complement for the Eels as far as replacements are concerned. That will make up 4. Mackay. Huge drop kick. Matt Goodwin back deep. The front rower. Running like a 3-quarter. Langford. Their discipline has been a lot better, Parramatta, than St George. When the opportunities have come, they have taken them. Barnes. Sterling stays in the dummy half. Drake. Ball's come loose. St George are in possession. McCallum had a quick peek over to his far touch judge, who signalled that St George had dropped it forward. The replacements go out there. Talk about a crucial match. Goodwin and Laurie leave. Good work for the Eels today. St George are struggling as far as 1990 is concerned.
So Sterling with the scrum feed, and here he is again. The little man has given it out for Mahon. Mahon had Lydiard outside of him. It's been picked up though by the Saints. Doolan has it, but there was a little knock on in there.
I think they've just gone over the sideline, but
they did indeed.
Foot on touch, and there it probably was. Yes, right on the line.
So the Eels come up with it again. Kenny, a pass along the ground, in fact. Barnes will play it. Munro. Now Drake. Got a pass back for Lydiard. And then for Greentree. The pass has gone forward. Sterling finished up with it. Obviously offside.
Have a look at this. This is a funny one because the ball just pirouettes out of the player's hands into Sterling's arms, and he's standing there and he's already tackled.
So the restart from the Saints. The dying minutes of the match. Tierney brings it up to halfway. Priddle. Just inside the Parramatta half. Linane, the little chip and chase, and picked it up beautifully. Linane looks for support. He's got it from Williams, and Williams is going to go and score. We talked about the variation of play Linane can bring, and that was a classic example.
Well, it's all come too late, but this was a magnificently thought out bit of football. Have a look at this. Linane, little right foot chip through. The ball bounces beautifully for him. Potter very nearly gets to it. Linane beats him, falls over, gets a one-handed pass onto Williams, and Williams goes round and scores a try right underneath the goalpost. That is almost the perfect try. Now here's Linane, the head-on shot, little chip over the top, beautifully judged, takes it one-handed, falls, gets a pass away to Williams, and really you don't see a better try than that every day, and it's a great pity for the St George side that has come much too late to enthuse them and lift their style, because they've been pretty flat today.
Well, that kick was successful, so the scoreline 20-12, Parramatta over St George. Parramatta in no great hurry to get things going again. There's about 2 minutes of play, maybe a little less than that, left in the game as Mahon restarts. Down for Mackay. He's one man who won't accept defeat. Played very strongly for his club today.
Never say die.
Fafita, caught by Barnes. Munro in there to lend a hand. Now Tierney. Linane again, trying it again. This time he can't pick it up. Sterling will end up picking it up for Parramatta. Krankovic has it. "35 metres away from the St George line. Sterling. Munro is involved. Kenny ends up playing it. Now this is Drake. Parramatta just content to use up this time. Greentree. Now Sterling.
Beautiful pass.
Out for Horrow. Grounded on the quarter line, and the penalty's going to go to Parramatta. And Scott Mann is going to have the shot for goal.
Yeah, I think Peter Sterling realises that his team has done just about enough to win the game. They've got a very good lead at the moment, 20 points to 12. The little man realises that the work's been done. There's no need to knock themselves around anymore. So take up a little bit of time with a kick at goal right at the end, as he's doing, and probably the result of the kick, or regardless of the result, the execution of the kick will just about signal the end of the game.
Now, the siren should sound as soon as he's kicked this, because we reckon the time is up. Mann, about 15 metres in from touch, and as you can see, just about on the quarter line. And he kicks it. Siren sounds too, so that'll be it. And Scotty Mann adds the 2 points to the tally. That's a very good win to the Parramatta side, particularly here in front of this St George crowd. They came here expecting a tough game. I don't think they got as tough a game as they would have expected.
No, it was a fairly ordinary St George side, but the Parramatta scoreline: Jackson 3 tries, Mann a try, Gately a goal, Mann 2 goals for St George, Goulet and Williams tries, Mackay a couple of goals.